Welcome to a video where I showcase 5 things that you may or may not know. Some of these facts may be in plain sight to some, but for others, this may be the very first time that you hear about them. Let's get started. To start off, did you know? The Hover Goat and Soldier are a lot similar than you think. Not only sharing 125 health, a fully automatic primary, but also in the fact that Hover Goat's voice lines are actually the exact same as the Soldier's, just under some effects. Here, take a listen.
Planes! Planes and
This was likely done on PopCap's half, as so that they could save some extra time and resources, though it's interesting that they picked the Soldier's voice lines to modify, instead of the pre-existing voice lines they had for the Goat. Secondly, did you also know, in BFN, specifically Town Center at nighttime, you can do a little trick that allows you to visit the boss area when you're not supposed to be there. The method involves selecting TV Head and going to the boss area like usual, and locking the door using the stink rocket, and entering through the gate. Then, once it loads you into the boss area, place down your respawn bucket and then abandon the activity. Once you're back into the region, wait until a plant kills you and then respawn at your bucket. This allows you to explore the area without any of the assets actually loaded in. This is actually the only boss area you can do it in, since every other area results in being killed by the out of bounds countdown. Why this one in particular doesn't have the countdown is rather strange, but is quite interesting in how we can freely explore this one without anything actually loaded. Heading back to Garden Warfare 2, did you know that Toxic Brains' legendary beta used to actually be a lot harder to obtain if you weren't always engaging in fights? Back when the game first launched, as shown here by Gabriel, the meter would decay at a slow but constant pace of approximately 1.5% per second. This constant decaying meant the user would have to constantly find victims whenever possible, otherwise they will never be able to achieve toxic overload and all of their progress would be lost. This change was quickly removed in the first content update of the game. As for why it was removed, it might have been due to players finding it too difficult to achieve toxic overload, though it's up to anyone's guess really. Next, did you also know that the boss hunts for both Captain Smasher and the Royal Hypno Flower may have been planned to be used for the town hall? Shown on screen right now are screenshots of the unused harder difficulties that take the place of both golden and scrumptious versions of their respective baits, hinting that both of these respective boss hunts may have been originally planned to appear in the town hall at one point in time. These discoveries may tie in with how the Sasquatch was potentially intended to be the boss for the story mode as opposed to Captain Smasher, though this is entirely speculation. Lastly, heading over to Garden Warfare 1, did you know that the Flax Cannons actually have their own unique kind of projectile that no other character uses in the game? The Flax Cannon's projectile type, according to the Frostbite modding server, is labeled as a proximity bullet. This projectile type, as shown in this footage here, actually causes the projectiles fired to automatically explode when an enemy is within a certain radius. It's really disheartening that such a unique projectile type was created for only one instance in the first game, with it going completely unused in Garden Warfare 2, for it could have potentially been assigned to one of the new variants we got at the game's launch. But alas, the projectile type is unfortunately laid to rest within the files for the rest of time.